She ignores you, and it drives you insane. You text her, no reply. You call her, nothing. She watched your stories but doesn't say a word. You start spiraling. Did I do something wrong? Is she seeing someone else? Is she losing interest? But here's the truth. She might be in love with you. So deeply, so uncontrollably that the only way she feels safe is by pulling away. Sounds crazy, let me explain. Carl Jung, one of the founding fathers of modern psychology, spoke about projection, how we project unconscious images onto others. In relationships, women often project their ideal version of love onto a man they feel connected to. She begins to see you not as a man, but as something more. A mirror of her desires, her fears, her emotional history. This creates emotional chaos. And when chaos arises, most women do not move forward. They freeze or disappear. When a woman pulls away during the early stages of love, it's not always a red flag. It's often a response to emotional overwhelm, especially if she's not used to feeling this much. So what does this mean for you? First, don't panic. Second, understand that women often test men through absence. Not by words, not by drama, but through silence. This is not a game. It's instinct. She wants to know, are you emotionally grounded? Can you hold the frame? Can you be her anchor when she's adrift in her feelings? If your answer is to react, chase, text 3 times in a row, call, question, over-explain, you fail the test. Not because you're weak, but because you're emotionally unstable in her eyes. You see, women are biologically wired to seek safety, not just physically, but emotionally. And emotional safety comes from one thing: a man who does not lose himself in her storm. Now let's get deeper. According to Dr. Brené Brown, vulnerability is the core of meaningful connection. But vulnerability is also terrifying, especially for women who have been hurt, disappointed, abandoned. So when she starts falling, truly falling, she experiences a paradox. She craves connection, but fears annihilation. So she pulls away, not to hurt you, but to protect herself. This is where most men make a critical mistake. They assume her silence means rejection, so they react, they beg, they demand closure, they collapse. But here's the stoic truth. You must not react to what is outside your control. You must remain unmoved by appearances. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." She is the outside event. Her silence, her confusion, her hot and cold behavior, all outside your control. But your reaction, that is yours. And your reaction determines everything. So what should you do? Let me be clear. You do nothing. No chasing, no justifying, no emotional outbursts, no subtle manipulation. You remain still. Like a mountain, like an oak tree. She will feel your absence. And in that space, she will start to reflect. Why hasn't he chased? Does he not care? Why does he feel so calm, so stable while I'm spiraling? That's when she begins to lean back in. Not because you forced her, but because you created a gravitational field with your presence, with your silence. This is the paradox of masculine power. The less you react, the more control you hold. Now let me give you 5 psychological reasons why women pull away when they're falling in love. Number 1, fear of losing herself. Love can feel but instinctively. Can you hold your center? Are you grounded enough to handle her chaos? Number 4, hormonal and biological cycles. Emotions are not linear, they fluctuate. And during moments of hormonal imbalance or emotional sensitivity, she may need time alone. It's not personal. And number 5, she's overwhelmed by how much she feels. Sometimes the intensity of love is too much too soon, so she creates distance to slow down her heart. So again, what do? Nothing. You go to the gym, you focus on your goals, you build, you improve, you stay on your mission. You stop checking your phone every 10 minutes. You don't stalk her social media. You don't reach out just to check. You hold frame. And if, or when, she comes back, here's the key. You welcome her. Not with open desperation, not with passive-aggressive comments, but with quiet confidence. You say, hey, good to hear from you. You keep it light. You lead the conversation. You let her re-earn access to your energy. Because here's what happens. She will come back. Not because you chased, but because you didn't. Because in your stillness, she found safety. In your silence, she heard certainty. When she returns, you don't punish. You don't ask why. You lead, quietly, powerfully, without ego. This is the way of the stoic. This is masculine power. Subscribe if this spoke to something deep inside you, and remember, the less you react,